Hello and welcome to this News9 special. A lot has been churning in Maharashtra. Ajit Pawar, the nephew of Sharad Pawar, has been trying to move in a game of well-thought chess moves with the BJP. Now, this is quite strange now in Maharashtra, where we have seen how this particular overture towards the BJP has resulted in a lot of curiosity among political leaders. For the last 2 days, the discussion in Maharashtra political circle is revolving around Ajit Pawar. There are claims that Chief Minister Eknath Shinde's MLAs will be disqualified and leader of opposition Ajit Pawar will join the BJP. That date is for the verdict on the Sena division case is also approaching, and this has given rise to possibilities for the parties in the state. Hypothetically, if Shinde's government collapses following Supreme Court's verdict, the question would be, can Ajit Pawar bring BJP government again? Now, to discuss more about it, we have in our studios Brijesh Pandey, who's our political editor at News9. We also have Ashok Bagriya, who is the legal editor at News9. Kiran D. Thare, who's also joining us on Zoom, and Sanjay Jog, a senior journalist, will also be joining us. Well, the first question, when it comes to politics, we straight away head to Brijesh. Brijesh, what is it? Is it a hypothetical situation that we are looking at, or is it an insurance policy that the BJP is engaged in?
I think it's more of an insurance policy which the BJP is engaged in. This is not the first time that BJP has made overtures to Ajit Pawar. You remember that famous, very early morning swearing in of Devendra Fadnavis and Ajit Pawar as his deputy, but it went nowhere. So I think, the BJP is also aware of the fact that a decision on the future of, whether the MLA stands disqualified, which is the Eknath Shinde faction or not, or whether the other side stands disqualified, is going to come on 5th of May. And the BJP, it seems, doesn't want to take any chances, and this is the reason why they have approached Ajit Pawar. There are many who believe, and it's being chronicled well, and Kiran would throw more light on it, been covered pretty extensively in the Mumbai press for the last week, 10 days, about how Ajit Pawar, when he was for a day, he actually went and met Home Minister Amit Shah, and there was a due deliberation on how to take this entire situation forward. There are also talks of how Ajit Pawar's, the majority of the MLAs which he's talking about, are not very comfortable with the idea that if this happens without the blessing of Sharad Pawar, so they all know, what Sharad Pawar is capable of as far as ensuring or making sure that the situation doesn't get out of hand or surprise him. So they are also in talks with him. If this happens, the two big questions which will emerge is A, what will happen to Eknath Shinde, and B, rather three questions. B, what will happen to Mahavikas Aghadi, and C, whether this will come as a massive boost as far as Uddhav Thackeray is concerned.
Well, Uddhav Thackeray will be looking at the courts. Let's get in Ashok Bagriya to this. What would be the impact of that particular case? Because it would technically define about how splits and mergers will happen in Indian political system. Is that the case that we are looking on May 5th?
Well, two things first before I respond to your pointed question, is that first, that there is a lot of speculation as to which way the Supreme Court will rule. There is speculation. People believe in Maharashtra that this case would be decided against the Eknath Shinde faction. But let me tell the viewers that it's still 3 weeks away before the judgment will be delivered. Now the judgment has to be delivered before May 14th because one of the senior judges on the 5-judge bench is set to retire on that day. So the judgment will happen before May 14th. Now, what exactly has triggered this movement in Maharashtra, we don't know whether these are rumors or just speculations, empty speculations, or is it just a ploy by the Bharatiya Janata Party to create a division in the NCP. Now, coming back to your question as to what the Supreme Court will actually decide. There are multiple questions before the Supreme Court, but the most crucial one is with respect to disqualification of the MLAs which went with Eknath Shinde and subsequently were a part of the majority which was proved on the floor of the House when Uddhav Thackeray resigned. So that is the crux of the matter, that what is the legal status of these MLAs who defected from Uddhav faction of the Shiv Sena and moved to Eknath Shinde party, Eknath Shinde's side, were they actually eligible to vote on the floor of a house when a disqualification petition was already pending before the speaker? So were they actually qualified to vote on the floor of the house? This is the crux of the matter. Now if the Supreme Court comes to a conclusion that no, they couldn't have voted because there was a disqualification petition pending, so what happens is that the Mahavikas Aghadi government comes into minority. Now in a situation like this, the BJP or the Uddhav or the Eknath Shinde faction will try to cobble together numbers to ensure that the MVA numbers are still there and they are past the majority mark to save the government. So this is how the matrix is basically playing out. But there will also be another question, that let's assume a situation if there is a split or Ajit Pawar breaks away with some MLAs to join the Mahavikas Aghadi government, what will be the legal status of such MLAs?
Well, the legal status, when you were speaking about, interesting case with regards to the speaker was there in Karnataka as well. And again over there, the Karnataka High Court was also looking at similar kind of a situation, because so many of them had defected, some of them went for their resignations. But the only difference over here is that you have sitting MLAs who have not resigned and their disqualification is before the speaker, while over there people had come to resign from their position with regards to the speaker in Karnataka. And when we look at all these factors, there is a crucial person called as the speaker. How much of his quasi-judicial authority is now being compromised? Because every time when such things happen, we all go to the court to find out what is the explanation that they want to give or how they interpret the constitutional role of the speaker.
See, as far as the Speaker of the House is concerned, he's the most powerful person when it comes to a situation or of a floor test or deciding on qualification and disqualification of legislators. His authority cannot be challenged on the floor of the House. However, his actions can be judicially challenged. A case can be made out in the High Court or the Supreme Court saying that the Speaker has acted in a malified manner, has not given requisite opportunity or time to the disqualified or supposedly disqualified MLAs to present their side of the story, and the facts and the circumstances were actually not taken into account by the Speaker while disqualifying them. So this is the role of the Speaker. However, that's a very crucial one. But in Maharashtra, the situation got a little more complicated when there was when the members of the Legislative Assembly actually moved a no trust motion against the Speaker. So what we have in Maharashtra is a very strange situation in 2022 where there is a disqualification petition against the MLAs and also a no trust motion against the Speaker. So who is the situation now pans out is that who should the Speaker against whom there is a no trust motion already in place, should he be the competent authority to decide on the disqualifications of the MLAs? Because what is happening or what has happened in the Supreme Court is that the Eknath Shinde faction has taken that high moral ground, saying that there is already a no trust motion against the Speaker. How can he be the person to adjudicate on my fate?